Hello there, namaste. So this is the trailer for Devara, Part 1. I'm guessing it's going to be a multitude of films, or they're just going to be a multitude of trailers. I'm not sure what it means by Part 1. I'm thinking it's just this is the first part of the film, and then more will come out in time, because it's kind of like Bahubali, where that was like the beginning, and then there was the end? No, what was the last part? I forgot what the last part was called. But it was split into two, but it was like Part 1, Part 2, or like what? PS1, PS2, PS3, where it just has the number to show what order you're in. Much easier to understand rather than things starting to give it titles at the very end, and then you're like, what one am I supposed to watch next? There are so many times where I'm trying to watch a series, and then I just like remember the name, and I'm like, which one came first? Which one came second? So this makes it easier. But yeah, I went off on a tangent there. Let's just get into the trailer.
அவங்கெல்லாம் யாரு? அவங்களுக்கு ஜாதி தெரியாது, மதம் தெரியாது, பயம்னா என்னன்னே தெரியாது. தைரியத்தை தவிர எதுவும் அறியாத கண்களை முதல் முறையா பயம் மேகங்கள் சூழ்ந்துச்சு. இதெல்லாம் செஞ்சது யாரு? ரொம்ப பெரிய கதை சாமி. ரத்தத்தால கடல் மொத்தம் சிகப்பான கதை. எங்க தேவர கதை.
I mean, I'm interested just because they showed it. Well, it's not naval combat. It's more like piracy at that point where they're raiding ships and jumping all over the ship crates. I was thinking this was going to be, I don't know why, because it shows him wearing a button-down shirt, but I was thinking this was going to be more medieval with the way it started out. And then it shows the beaten-up sailors, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's a modern suit. I don't know why I was thinking it was going to be medieval. I guess it's just because of how it started, with all the fighting, with all the weapons and everything. It's like, oh, okay, this looks more way back in the day. And then it goes into like, oh no, they're jumping on a freight ship and just killing everyone on board on the seas. And like, okay, we'll get into it.
மனுஷனுக்கு வாடுற அளவுக்கு தைரியம் இருந்தா போதும், கொல்ற அளவுக்கு தேவையில்லை. இல்ல முடியாதுன்னு இதுக்கு மேலையும் அதே தைரியத்தோட இருந்தா அந்த தைரியத்தோட பயமா மாறுவேன். நீ இருக்கிற வரைக்கும் இந்த மலை மேல நீ சொல்றதுதான் வாக்கு தேவரா. தேவராவை கொல்லணும்னா சரியான சமயம் மட்டும் இல்ல, சரியான ஆயுதமும் கிடைக்கணும்.
எப்ப பாரு சின்ன புள்ளையாட்டும் பயந்துகிட்டு அவன் எப்படி கட்டுக்க?
போட்டியில கலந்துக்க போறியா என்ன?
என்ன பேசுற நீ? கொன்னு போடுவாங்க என்ன?
அவனுக்கு அவங்க அப்பா உருவம் வந்திருக்கே தவிர அவர் வீரம் வரல.
வேலைக்காக போயிருந்தா.
I am not sure what this story is about. I am not, because in the beginning it talks about how there wasn't a cast. They were always courageous. It looks like now there's a dysfunction and they're going to start competing for who's in charge, I'm guessing. It seems like it veered away. Of course, this is part 1. They're probably going to have a completely different story in part 2. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they join hands and join forces at the end of the film, like in RRR, and then it becomes like this epic battle of like the brothers team up type thing.
தேவரா கடலுக்கு போய் 2 வருஷம் முடிச்சு போச்சு. கண்ணை மூடினாலும் திறந்தாலும் கடலை கடையில பார்த்துதான் கண்ணு முன்னால நிக்குது. பயத்தை மறந்து எப்பவாவது தப்பான வேலைக்காக கடலை இறங்கினா
Those ships would not be able to hold that freight, but
இன்னிலிருந்து உங்க கண்ணுக்கு தெரியாத பயமா மாற போறேன்.
oh, you know, one thing I gotta say, no matter how ridiculous some things look, it looks spectacular cinematically. Like the shots, like he's riding on the back of the shark, and it's like, it's absolutely ridiculous, But for some reason, it looks cool because there was that one scene where he's swimming after. At least that's how it was edited. The shark comes out of the water, and then they show him swimming after it. I'm assuming he was swimming after it. It looks ridiculous, but it just also looks so awesome. See, this is how you're supposed to do slow motion. You stop it on things because the entire time I'm watching, I'm like, we need to get some good Indian directors to start directing more Hollywood films, you know, to get that pacing in, to get like the right balance well, forget it. Hollywood's dying. Indie films, American indie films. How about that? Because it's just, it's so much more enjoyable. Absolutely. I've always been down for it. Because it slows down, and I'm like, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. Because it looks action-packed. Absolutely action-packed. Some of the things are physically impossible to do as a human body, but that doesn't matter. It's leaned into the action. I know it's an action film more than anything else. It looks like there's a story between, like, I'm guessing two people that know each other competing for the lead, someone who doesn't want to fight in the ring but then fights in the ring, and then it has all this like naval battles. It's like there are several stories going on, but it is part one, so there's probably going to introduce several things throughout the story which all collide in probably of the final film. I'm okay with that as long as it's done right. As long as it's done right and they balance it all out perfectly. I don't like it where they do, let's show you all this and then all these Kalki. Is it Kalki? Yeah, Kalki. Let's start off this cool story, and then let's spend 40 minutes with this pointless character who is important to the story, but everything he is doing isn't important to the story. Maybe it's important in the next film. Well, if it's important in the next film, don't show it to me now. Show it to me in the next film. It doesn't matter to me now. It doesn't. And it won't matter to me when we get to the next film. Why? Because we will re-see it. So in the end, it's a pointless filler scene that doesn't matter. As long as they avoid that and they kind of have like each character's opening, like they could have 3 different stories in this film. As long as they just have each character's opening arc. The next film is like their mid arc, and then if it's like a trilogy, their third film could be like all their conclusions as they're all working together or whatever it is. I don't know. It's part one. I know it's an action film. They had all these storylines going on. They kept mentioning things. The brother's missing. He's doing ring fighting, all this stuff. I probably missed a ton, but I know it's an action film, and I am kind of interested in seeing it. I guess in the end, that's all that really matters. Thank y'all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles.